to drboystv.com, the home for intelligent black people. And I wanted to come in and say hello real quick. I'm about to head out. We're about to go running, and as you know, I'm trying to overcome a recent illness, and so I got to get back to getting in shape and exercise and everything else. And so anyway, I wanted to jump in and talk for a second about something that I saw related to Chris Rock and Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. Now, if you saw recently, since you had the big Oscar slap between Chris and Will, Jada has made an appeal. She's made an appeal for these two intelligent men to come together and reconcile and to heal, because Jada is all about healing, healing, healing. And Chris basically, from according to Entertainment Tonight, Chris is not interested in doing any healing. Chris is not interested in doing any reconciling. Chris Show is hell interested in coming to the red table, and I don't even know if Will is interested in coming to the red table, because you haven't seen Chris or Will at the red table since that whole incident took place. That kind of tells me that maybe the red table, maybe that's Jada's table, maybe that's a women's table, maybe that's a table for other people. But I kind of think a lot of people might be a little bit sick of the red table. But anyway, I wanted to talk about this for a second, just because this whole case has been very interesting to me, because I'm about the same age as, I'm a little bit younger than Will Smith, much younger than Chris Rock. And I've also, as a black man and as a believer in the black family and supporter of the black woman, I was really curious about the reactions across the community to what happened. You know, whether or not people felt that Chris was justified to, or that he did the right thing by turning the other cheek, or if Will did the right thing by running up and slapping Chris. I personally don't believe that Will did the right thing, because I don't think that you achieve your goal if your goal was to keep your wife's name out of other people's mouths. Well, you didn't achieve that goal, because people were talking about your wife more than ever because of the incident, right? So ultimately, I'm not really sure if that accomplished the goal, but you can think what you want. But here's what I was also processing. There's a huge financial angle to all of this. There's a huge money angle to all this, where everybody is playing a part in this. It's one thing if three people decide to go get into an argument and go back and forth, or two guys decide to slap each other. And this is a great business lesson. Look, if you decide you want to fight, you can either fight or you can make money. You can either fight or make money most of the time. Sometimes you can fight and make money, but most of the time, if you're fighting with the people that you could be making money with, then you're going to make less money than you would have made otherwise, because it's going to cost you money to fight people who also have money. Like, so Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, they went to court. He was fighting with her in court. They could have, if their relationship had worked out, they could be making money together. But instead, Amber attacked him and cost him probably $50 to $100 million. Then he comes back and now he's cost her $50 to $100 million. Now both of them are just sort of residing over the ashes. Both of them are two actors who are struggling financially because they went to war. So I want you to really think about that when you decide whether or not you should respond to a situation by walking away, maybe respond through reconciliation, or respond by just running up and slapping somebody. All those reactions are logical on some level. All of them might make sense to you, but not all of them are going to protect your wealth. So with that being said, let's start with each entity and each party involved, and kind of talk about the economic side of what I'm seeing in terms of how this is all playing out for them. If you could do me a favor, take 1 second, please hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. As you know, drboystv.com, we are B1. B1 means we're black first. We care about our families. We care about our community. We educate our kids. So if you agree with that philosophy, I hope you will smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Also, if you go to boycewatkins.com, there are plenty of free resources for anybody who wants to build wealth. There are tons of free resources for those who want to educate your kids on economics. There are tons of resources for those who want to level up their life. So feel free to go to boycewatkins.com. You can follow me on Instagram at TheRealBoyceWatkins. Now, with that being said, let's start with Will Smith. Will is the first guy I thought about the most, because I didn't understand Will's actions at all. I did not understand. Playing the Hollywood game, I get it if you don't want to play the Hollywood game. I never played the Hollywood game. That's why you'll never see me on TV. I don't want to be mainstream. I don't want to be at the Grammys. I don't want to be at the Oscars. I don't want to be at none of that, because I know the history of that. I read I read An Empire of Their Own, How the Jews Invented Hollywood, which was a remarkable story about how they worked so hard to build this institution, but I didn't want any parts of it, because that's not my culture. Those are not my people. But at the same time, and then also at the same time, it makes me sad to see so many of our best and most talented black people in LA begging for jobs. I mean, literally groveling, hand on their knees, sucking people's whats and doing all kinds of sexual favors to just get one little stupid opportunity when you can learn how to create your own opportunity. Problem is nobody ever taught you that. You don't come from a community that built that for you. They have that in their community. You don't have that in yours. So instead, just like Dr. Anderson talks about with Powernomics, you are out here begging for opportunities because you don't have people in your community creating those opportunities. And so, and in fact, Wednesday night, we're studying Powernomics. You guys know in the Black Business School, we're doing free Powernomics training. We're going through this book word for word, line for line, and every Wednesday night at 8:30. You can go to boycewatkins.com if you'd like to join our free Powernomics training program. It's absolutely free to the community, and you get free access to my life class, which is $1,000 value. All that's yours, totally free. You don't have to pay a nickel. I just want to get you in a position where you can learn. So with that being said, so the thing about it is that with LA, there are games that have to be played. Will played all those games. Will fit in like magic. Will was always like a walking black man version of a Mickey Mouse in terms of LA. And I didn't understand why after 30 years of doing that and finally getting that Best Actor award that matters for you. It doesn't matter for me, but it matters for you. You decide that that's the day that you want to run up and slap somebody. You didn't do it at 35 years old or 25 years old. You did it at 53 years old, which to me, I think that we got to just really think about what that means because when you got black men in their 50s who can't resolve a dispute like adults who feel like they have to do what a 9-year-old would do, that really doesn't sit well for the black man, in my opinion. I really think that there's better ways to handle it. And again, like I said, it didn't even accomplish the goal. Keep my wife's name out your mouth. No, everybody's talking about your wife now. And there's better ways to have handled that if you're Big Willie, so to speak. So now Will has, he's lost probably $1 billion in brand value. He's not going to get invited to be part of blockbuster films the way he used to and things like that because they don't believe that he could sell a ticket. He's probably got other investments. He's probably done like LeBron and put his money in different places. And so he's probably pretty smart to the point where he'll never go broke. But not going broke is not the goal. When you're Will Smith at this stage, you're not trying to not go broke. You're trying to become a billionaire, a multi-billionaire. You're trying to compete with Elon Musk. You're trying to figure out how to really get to that level that's worthy of someone like you. And he'll never get to that level now. Now he'll be another rich guy. But in terms of my vision, my vision for a guy like that, or any of these Hollywood types that that we look at as iconic, I want them to do what the white guys do. Elon Musk has created hundreds of thousands of jobs for white people. Jeff Bezos has created hundreds of thousands of jobs for white people. Ask me, give me a yes or no in the chat. Give me a yes or no. Can you name one black person who has created 100,000 jobs for black people? Can you name one black person who has ever in his or her whole career created 100,000 jobs for black people, or built 3,000 schools, or gone in and started helped start 10,000 businesses? Give me yes or no. I mean, 100,000 jobs. Now, somebody said Tyler Perry. Now, Tyler has done a decent job. I mean, he put on that Medea dress and he worked it. He had to pay a price for that. But really, even Tyler Perry, think about this. You probably can't name one single famous director or writer or act or producer that's come out of Tyler Perry's camp. Where's the next Tyler Perry? Where's the next generation? Who's the next great Tyler Perry type figure that's come out of Tyler Perry's camp? There's been nobody. The only name you ever see on a Tyler Perry movie a lot of times is Tyler Perry. And that's a criticism that he gets a lot. I'm not critiquing him. I'm not attacking him myself. Look it up. A lot of people say this. A lot of people say, gosh, you go work for him. He's a diva. He wants all the attention. He wants all the shine. He wants all the glory. He wants all the admiration. He doesn't necessarily want someone else to be equal to him. Right. I can't think of anybody. I don't know. You can tell me. Magic Johnson, Ethan, that's a good guess, but Magic hasn't created 100,000 jobs. Bob Johnson probably could. He's got the right mindset for it. And Robert Smith could. They've got the right mindset. I just don't know if they're black enough per se. Like Robert Smith is in that space where he does a lot of business with non-black people, but he did do that great thing in Morehouse by paying off the student loans. But I think an even greater thing would have been to provide $1 billion in capital so that those young black men could actually start businesses and actually build institutions for their families. What the black community needs is not more jobs. The black community does not need more ballers. We got too many ballers. We got too many guys showing off how much money they have. The black community does not need more role models and symbols of success. What the black community needs is institutions. We need, hundreds, maybe thousands of companies that can hire hundreds, maybe thousands of people. But that requires a certain mindset where you can think in a systematic way. Remember, white supremacy dominated you because it's a system. White supremacy is a system. You can't beat a system if you can't think in a systematic fashion. If you're not thinking in terms of systems, you can't fight a system. It's like me trying to defeat a whole football team all by myself. I could be the greatest football player in the history of the world. I could throw the ball 300 yards down the field. I could run a 4.0 40-yard dash. I could bench press 1,000 pounds, but I could never beat a football team. The greatest football player in the history of the world can't even beat a high school team because you're talking about an individual against a system. So what you have in the Black community is you don't have a lot of systems. You have a lot of individuals. You have a lot of individuals that are individually successful, but not successful on a systematic level. Systematic success spreads. Systematic success is contagious. This form of what they call economic contagion. Professor Andrew Caroli, who was the head of my dissertation committee when I was at Ohio State University, he's now in the faculty at Cornell. He writes all about economic contagion. You want your economic success to spread to other people. And that's not an idea that we talk about or teach very much. I'm probably the only person on the internet anywhere that's even talking about this because it takes time to understand this. You have to understand economics at a certain level to even get what I'm saying. So long story short, I admit I'm disappointed in Will Smith. I've always loved Will Smith. I really do. I know I met his brother Harry. I talked to his brother Harry for hours, and his brother Harry is a wonderful, intelligent, great man. I did not like Will Smith devaluing himself by running up, trying to be gangster, trying to impress nigga-minded people. I just don't. I don't think. I think Will Smith could have handled it in a lot of ways, and I just didn't like that. It bothered me. So with that being said, Will Smith is probably going to lose $1 billion in economic value as a result of this. And that is what it is. Now, Jada, on the other hand, in terms of money, I think Jada is using this as an opportunity to build up her show. Everything, if you notice, every single thing that's happened with Jada in her life in the last 5 years has always circled back somehow to the red table talk. Any big controversy that happens in the Black community, it's like, hey, come to the red table, come to the red table, come to the red table. You can come to the red table. And the red table just kind of makes me want to vomit. I don't dislike Jada Pinkett Smith. I just don't like that red table. I don't watch the episodes. It doesn't seem healthy. She talks about healing, but it comes off somewhat toxic. Also the way that their marriage has just literally been allowed to erode and decay and rot in front of the public has just gotten people almost to the point where they're sick. They get physically sick when they think about Jada and Will. And again, I feel like that's sad too, because I don't see that so much as being Will's fault. I haven't seen Will do anything to decay the marriage. I've seen things come out from Jada that didn't seem kind of like, why are you telling everybody that? You're 50 something years old. Why does everybody got to know you slept with your child's friend? Why does everybody, you're 50 something years old. Does everybody need to know about your porn addiction? Like that's not even that, like you're screwing with people's heads. Like people's minds are kind of like, what? No, I get it. This brutal honesty, but maybe that brutal honesty is between you and your therapist. And I haven't seen Will sort of jumping on board with that just sort of brutal honesty to the point where it's decayed their family brand and just honestly made them look like the Addams family. They end up looking like a pack of weirdos. And I don't think that that's reflective of who they really are. I think that the Smith family, from what I have gathered, when in those conversations I had with Harry, I said, man, these are some smart people. It's not easy for me to sit down and have a deep conversation for a long period of time with a person and be really impressed with what I'm hearing because I'm such a deep thinker myself. I was super impressed with Will's brother, Harry. He's a very smart guy, and the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And that gave me hope that perhaps this could be something more than what it is. Now, with that being said, if you could do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe if you haven't done it yet. Also, if you want to join us for tomorrow night's Powernomics training, it's totally free. It's the Dr. Boyce Book Club. It's a lot of fun. Everybody loves it. Just go to boycewatkins.com. It's totally free to the community. And also very, very soon, I'm going to do a deep dive, an options deep dive for those who want to learn more about options. And we're going to cover how to make money writing covered calls, how to make money every week or every month, whatever you choose, by basically buying shares of stock and then selling covered calls, how to pick the right stocks each week that you want to actually sell calls on, how to roll the calls over, how the options markets work, all that stuff. So I'm going to do that really soon. So if you go to boycewatkins.com and get on an email list, I'll email you when we're ready, when it all gets started. All right. So with that being said, The last point of my conversation would be Chris Rock and his money. Okay, so Will is trying to protect his money. Will's probably lost $1 billion in brand value. Jada's trying to use this as a come up for her show. It appears this way anyway. And then you got Chris Rock. Chris Rock is sitting in the golden seat. Chris Rock gets to look like the innocent victim, which maybe he isn't. Maybe he isn't the innocent victim. He says a lot of smart alecky stuff. He runs his mouth a lot. But then again, running your mouth, some would say that doesn't mean somebody should be running up on stage and slapping you at the Oscars. But Chris Rock, because he got slapped and because he didn't retaliate, he's probably in the middle of negotiating a $50, $100 million deal. Getting slapped that day at the Oscars in front of the world and then keeping it cool and waiting for the big payday, that was probably the greatest economic move that Chris Rock has ever made. I'm not kidding. This move, this one incident, is going to create about $200 or $300 million of generational wealth in the family of Chris Rock. If he was having financial problems before that slap, he ain't got no problems after the slap. His deal with Netflix, I'm sure the negotiation, the price shot way up. Will Smith's prices shot way down. Chris Rock's prices shot way up. Human beings in entertainment are like shares of stock. Chris's stock, in the eyes of white people especially, went way, way up. Will's stock went way, way down. Will and Jada's stock went way, way down. So Will, whatever he was negotiating for before all this happened, all those negotiations get cut off. Whatever Chris was negotiating before the slap, all those negotiations, he's getting phone calls all day the next day, the day after that, and the day after that. And now he's not taking those calls because there's a price reset. It's just like today with Novavax, a company I invested in, because there's new information coming out about whether or not their vaccine is going to get approved or not. There was a halt in trading. Trading just stopped because they know there's going to be a big reset in the stock price of Novavax as a result of whether this information is good or bad. Well, the same thing happens in negotiation over a movie or a stand-up comedy special or whatever it is. There's a halt sometimes in the conversation until they can reassess the situation and consume the new information. So for both Chris and Will, both of their whatever negotiations they were in probably came to a halt. Either for Will, the other party halted the negotiation. They said, whoa, you're still Will Smith, but whatever we were willing to pay yesterday, we're not willing to pay that today because now you're damaged goods. For Chris Rock, he probably halted the negotiation because he said, look, yesterday, Chris Rock was on sale for $5 million or whatever. Now the price has changed. I don't know what the new price is going to be, but we're going to sit back and kick it for a minute. And we're going to talk in about a month once the information has been absorbed and we have figured out what the new price of a Chris Rock is. It'll probably be double what it was before because back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. Now everybody's calling my number. Everybody wants my time. Everybody wants a piece of me. Those companies that didn't want anything to do with me before, they're now blowing up my phone because everybody knows that they can put me on a product or a brand or whatever, and they can sell a ticket. So Chris Rock is going to make it no less than $100 million from all this, maybe $200 or $300 million by the time it's done if he plays it right. That's, in my view, the reason why Chris Rock has not said a word about any of this, because he's not going to talk unless you pay him. And the longer he takes to talk about it, the more people will be willing to pay. So that's what I'm seeing right now. And so I think it makes perfect sense. I sure as hell, I'd be absolutely stunned. It would be completely irrational and illogical for Chris Rock to show up at a Red Table Talk with Will Smith and let Jada make all the money from the chaos that she helped to create. I think that Chris Rock is going to say, to hell with your Red Table Talk, unless you're willing to pay me. Now, if the Red Table people have, $10 million to pay Chris to come to do an interview with them, maybe then he might show up. I could see him showing up for something like that. But outside of that, no, I don't think he would participate at all. So that's what I'm seeing. That's my 2 cents, and that was what was on my mind, and that's what I wanted to share with you guys. So remember, there's a financial angle to everything, and I would encourage you, if you're really out here trying to make money, if you're really out here trying to be successful, if you're really out here trying to operate on level 8, level 9, don't let people pull you down to level 2, level 3. Some of y'all are surrounded by some level 2 ass Negroes, and you're trying to operate as a level 9. You can't be a level 9 and let the level 2s determine what level you're going to go to. In fact, if you just watch me, I mean, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect by any stretch. Sometimes I say things I regret or whatever, but for the most part, if you notice, there are times where people will talk all day about me. They will do video after video after video after video. Kwame Brown did about 14 videos about me. They got probably 2 million views. And if you notice, I didn't hardly respond to anything. I did one video where I just simply told my truth about some things, and then I left it alone. After that, I didn't care. And the same thing happens with almost everybody else. There are so many people that will come out there and say, "Oh, I'm going to talk about Dr. Boyce," and I'm happy for them, right? Because maybe you need money, and your YouTube channel is going to blow up because you put my name in the video, and I get that. But if it's not at my level, oh, I'm not participating. We're just not doing that, right? So ultimately, you got to decide what level you're trying to play this game on. Are you trying to play above the rim, or are you trying to play beneath the floor? And if you want to play the economic game above the rim, you got to make a conscious decision about what level you're going to go to in order to deal with whatever you're dealing with. So just keep that in mind. Level up your life, level up your mindset. That's the only way you can never level up your finances. Got it? I hope that makes sense. I hope that this helps you. I hope this helps you find your way to success. Well, I got to run. My wife just came in here. And as I told you, my beautiful black wife is the prettiest thing in the world. And when she comes in the room, I always turn and always look. And it looks like it's time for us to go running. So I'm going to go running with my wife so I don't get fat. And I love you. And I'll chime back in a little bit later. Go to BoyceWatkins.com if you want to join us for tomorrow night's Powernomics training. I guarantee you're going to love it. Bring your family. If you could, please share the link. Let other people know that we do this every Wednesday night. We're reading Dr. Claude Anderson's books. This is something free for the whole community because I really believe that for black people, for those of you that want to win, you got to learn how to play the game at the highest level. You got to learn how to play like a team. You got to learn how to play the game with power. If you never learn the game of power in America, then you will always be victimized by those who have the power. I want you to have the power yourself, and the power is inside of you, but you got to go get it. So join us tomorrow night at Powernomics training. We start at 8:30. Just go to BoyceWatkins.com. That's where you can sign up. There's a lot of other free resources there as well for anything that you want to know. The Black Business School, we got you. So take care, guys. Have a wonderful day. Stay up, and I shall speak to you all soon. Be black and be happy. See you later. Peace.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm, great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones too late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to co-sign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your own. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.